What's going on, everybody? Happy morning, happy evening, happy whenever this is that you're watching the video. I only said happy morning because there's nobody in here yet. It is almost 9 p.m. here on Friday night. Hope you guys are doing well whenever it is for you. So I thought I would just hop on here, hang out with some of the subscribers here on YouTube for maybe an hour or two, and also possibly jump over on Instagram. I didn't really notify anybody other than making a quick little post here on YouTube about an hour ago, letting people know that I would be hopping on. Simon, what's going on, man? Happy Friday to you. How are you tonight? Looks like there's 4 people in here already. What's going on, guys? How are you? Ryan, what's up, man? Hope you guys are doing well. I saw that a lot of you guys already watched and commented on the video, the unboxing that I posted earlier today, which is awesome. Simon, I'm worn out but blessed. Well, what do you mean by worn out? I hope you mean physically, that you did a lot and that you're not sick. But what do you mean by that, man? So anyway, I think I am gonna hop over. Long week of work. Yeah, I hear you, man, for sure. Yes, it was. Next week's gonna be a long one too. But if we're working, we should be grateful, right? Blessed is absolutely the right way to put it, Simon. So blessed to be working, blessed to be healthy, blessed to have the opportunity to fish every now and again. But yeah, look, it can be exhausting. Transplanting produce. Dang, that does sound like exhausting work, man. Interesting though. Ryan says, I'm looking forward to hearing how those baits work for you. Yeah, the ones from the unboxing, man. I'm gonna show you guys one more time in a minute here. I might actually start streaming on Instagram to just show people as well. I've got it over here, so when I'm looking at your guys' comments, it's pretty much in the same line of sight. I've got a much larger following on Instagram and don't tend to like some of the people who hop on those streams. So we've got such good vibes here on YouTube with the crew who tends to hop on here. But I want to give people a little bit of time to notice, to get the notification, or perhaps just randomly hop on YouTube and see that I'm streaming. That tends to happen to Ray more than anybody. Riley told me that she's not going to hop in tonight. So we will just have to see. I'm pretty sure Justin from No Diggity is gonna hop in here for sure. Simon says, "Is it easy to get Instagram?" Absolutely. It's a standard application on your phone, man, and it's free and super simple to sign up just using your email address. Couple people like Ryan from Son of a Fisherman, he got an Instagram for the first time like a month ago. He's already posted a number of times on there, and so anyway, it's very easy to get, and I'd recommend that you do because it works on both your phone and on your desktop. You can use it either way. I think you could just use your internet browser and hop on Instagram, sign up that way, and not even have to use your phone, but you could do it either way. So check me out there. I'm approaching 9,000 followers there right now. And yeah, BJ, what's going on, man? How are you doing tonight? Good to see you in here, man. So I wanted to say, since we are still in here in the first 5 minutes of this video, that it will be easy to replay this back. I don't know if BJ's got his son Brody in here right now or not. I would assume not, given how late it is right now. Your 9-year-old boy should not be still up at 11 p.m. But either way, if you're watching now or you're watching later, Brody, just wanted to wish you a happy belated 9th birthday, which was last week. BJ let me know that, and I did just send out the package to you guys that everybody here on YouTube helped you guys obtain. So I finally shipped that out today, and also sent out Riley's package. So you should be receiving that come Monday or Tuesday of next week, and have some fun new lures to fish with. So hope you guys enjoy those. Miguel Velez, what's up? Miguel's from Florida, he says. Hope you're doing well. I would assume you've got nice weather. It's very interesting to see what a diverse crowd here we've got, not just in age, from Riley being in high school to some of the folks being retired, but we've got people from California to Florida. And so it's very cool to see just what people's preferences are, and how we can help each other out and learn a little bit about perspective, because some of you guys are on the East Coast and are well past the spawn already. I would assume, Miguel, it's already post spawn for you, right? Are any fish still guarding beds, or still in pre-spawn or spawn mode, or is that already done? And some folks in California have experienced the same thing. Texas, same thing. But for those of us kind of in the middle of the country, we're still really in pre-spawn, and it's going to be another month or more before the spawn really gets going, and then the spawn will last a period of a month or two. So there's a lot of overlap, and it's interesting to see where everybody's at. Miguel says, I've seen some. Okay, so it's still on beds a little bit. Ryan, we're way in the post spawn in Texas. Yep. So Ryan, are you throwing swim baits or what, man? Good to see you in here, by the way. I don't think you said hey yet, but welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing well tonight, Ryan C. What kind of baits are you throwing in the post spawn right now, man? Miguel says the cold fronts have the bass confused, for sure. That can be a little bit annoying, and that's spring for you, right? The weather fluctuation and the storms, and it can really mess you up. So I went out today hoping to fish for about 2 hours, and it lasted 20, 30 minutes due to rain and lightning storms. They cruised in way faster than expected. So unfortunately, that's just part of the deal. BJ says that Brody's asleep right now. Okay, can't wait for him to see this tomorrow. No problem, BJ. My pleasure. Again, I wrote in a little card that I sent with the package. Really glad to hear that you're teaching your kids how to fish. I think that's a really cool deal, and something that I'm gonna really continue to do with my girls. My 4-year-old is a little bit interested. It's kind of touch and go, just like any other activity. And my 2-year-old likes, fishing games and toys and things like that, but hasn't actually cast a bait yet. She'll have an opportunity to reel after I cast out this summer, and hold her while she reels in a bait, maybe catches her first fish. She just turned 2 last week. So Miguel says, just picked up some fake fish and shellcracker G2s. Right on, man. Were you inspired to get those from Baitman's live stream last night, or what? Or just or do you just like the shellcracker, or have you been interested in that bait for some time? BJ, I do. BJ's asking if I throw frogs, and it's a good question, man, because frogging is a large category. We haven't been talking topwater very much at all for the last couple of months that we've been doing this live stream. Hey, appreciate you guys. I will I'll pass along those good vibes. She had an awesome birthday, so thank you guys very much. Miguel, good for you, man, for finally pulling the trigger. So BJ, let's talk about frogs. BJ, do you already throw soft plastic toads? You know, the Strike King Rage Toad is an awesome bait. The Kitech Crazy Flapper, sorry, Noisy Flapper is an awesome bait. Of course, a couple more classic ones are the Stanley Ribbit and the Zoom Horny Toad. It's got those ultra vibe, you know, the speed legs that are pretty typical. And then, you know, a couple others. Strike King Rage Tail makes the it's the Rage Shad, I think, just a little bit different. And then the Yum Tip Toad is a cheap one. But soft plastic toads are a good way to get into the frogging game. Good way to fish super weedless, and it's more like a buzz bait, like a weedless buzz bait type of presentation. But if you're really looking to frog, BJ, let's my overall favorite frog is the Copper's Live Target. Super collapsible, but not too soft. Very realistic design. Very realistic color patterns and design profile. It walks well, and it's pretty durable too. So that's probably my favorite frog, and it's not overly expensive. You know, if you're getting into frogging, you're gonna spend around $10. So here's a new frog that I threw around a little bit at the end of last year, and really look forward to throwing more this year. This is the Z-Man Leap Frogs. Take a look at that. Different profile on this guy. Yeah, just kind of hooked myself. So you can see the body shape is different on the underbelly. But other good ones to get into frogging are you know, the Booyah Pad Crasher. I don't know where I have one. And Spro, the Bronzeye frog. I only have the poppin' version right here. The Spro is a little bit thicker plastic and slightly smaller hook, but is a Gamakatsu hook. Very high quality, and it's a really nice frog. So, oh yeah, here's a Pad Crasher. Booyah Pad Crasher is one of the cheapest frogs on the market. I want to say it's like $6 or $7, and it is super reliable. It's about as collapsible as that Live Target. The hookup's not going to be quite as good as the Live Target, and it's not quite as detailed, but really nice frog, especially for the money. Now, that's if you're just getting into frogging, you're maybe going to throw it a couple of times. I would do that. And I would maybe consider getting one of each version. Yeah, the Booyah Pad Crasher comes in a standard and a popping version. I tend to throw standard frogs just a little bit more than the popping variety, but that will vary a little bit. So hopefully that answers your question just a little bit, BJ. Wasn't the most direct. Live Target's my favorite. Booyah Pad Crasher is probably the fan favorite and the best value. And then, you know, that Z-Man Leap Frogs is a sleeper, a surprisingly good-looking bait, but that's new, I think, as of last year. So, Ryan says, BJ, I'd make sure you get a white belly and a black belly to start out. Yeah, get kind of one of each. That would not be a bad way to go. So here, as you see in the standard one, I've got this brown, and here I've got this white belly. And that's pretty much what you want to have when it comes to frogs is white, black, and maybe an orange belly as well. So soft plastic toads, though, I think are a super fun way to fish, and really underrated bait, in my opinion. Something that people just don't talk about very much. I know that Jim over at Tackle Junkie does talk about them. He loves fishing the rage toad, but other than that, I don't hear a lot of people talking about toads very often. Miguel, what are you throwing for big swim baits? So I'm trying to keep it pretty simple, and I'm relatively new into the swim bait game, so I'm only starting out with a handful of baits to start out with, both hard and soft. So on the hard bait game, I'm going glide baits mostly. Got the Storm Arashi glide in a couple colors. This is the Oikawa Mesu, and I've got the Rainbow Trout. I've got the Savage Gear Shine Glider, and a couple of the River to Sea S Wavers in the 168. So I don't know if you'd call that a big swim bait per se at 168, but then I also have 3 of the Spro BBZ1 in the 6-inch. So got 2 slow sinks and 1 fast sink. That perch I just showed you is a fast sink. Want to fish that a little bit deeper than the trout or the shad patterns that I have. All of these baits are pretty much high value, good bang for the buck type of lures. Miguel, I'm not a diehard swim bait fanatic yet, and so I've got that same sort of mentality. Instead of buying Huddlestons at at $30 a pop, I'm gonna get these Savage Gear 40 line through pulse tail trouts, which are super realistic, have a very similar wedge tail design, but have a line through option and a treble hook instead of a jig hook. So I haven't thrown a Huddleston before and don't have any, so I don't have a strong opinion. But from what I've seen, these are pretty sweet. And the 2 of these combined, a 6-inch and an 8-inch, cost about the same as 1 Huddleston. So I've got a 2 in the 8-inch, 1 in the 6-inch, and that is mostly what I've got for big swim baits. I do have some of the rat lures as well, but hard to say whether you'd call that a wake bait or a swim bait. I know that there's crossover in the categories. So what about you, man? Miguel, what kind of swim baits are you throwing? Full Life Adventures, don't see them a lot. I figure you were talking about what those baits we were talking about before, maybe the toads. Find soft plastic toads have more uses, can be fished so many different ways. Yeah, that's true, Ryan, and I've come to realize that really in the last year in particular. I've used it as a chatterbait trailer, and it makes it super skippable. You can fish it much higher in the water column, and also like it as a jig trailer. I think it'd be awesome on a Tokyo rig, and I think it'd be good on a Texas rig. So yeah, anyway, I think there's a lot of options when it comes to toad fishing for sure. Full Life Adventure says, what's your take on the Savage Gear 3D bluegill? I didn't show you any of those, but it's funny you should mention that, because I do have a package coming in a few days that has a few more of these in it. And I kind of wanted to wait until Ray got on to mention this website and some of the deals that were going on there. I'm not sure if they still have them for sale as cheap as they did, but if they do, you guys should hop on it. So anyway, this is the original Savage Gear 3D bluegill. It is a soft plastic bait, but it's got two joints, a three-piece bait technically, and so it has a pretty wide wobble in the water. It's got a really interesting hunting erratic action that is pretty different. On the other hand, and this is the 4-inch size. They also make it in a 5-inch, and I think maybe even in a 6-inch. Now, they just came out with the pulse tail on the bluegill and on like 8 other different bait profiles, in addition to that line through trout I just showed you. So this bluegill is also 4 inches, has just the top hook on it, has a rattle in it, and is just super realistic. This is called Ghost Gill, and I think this is either a crappie. I'm pretty sure it's a crappie pattern. Anyway, I've got 2 of the 5-inch baits coming in the mail and was going to give 1 or 2 away next month. They were just $5. So these things run at like $15 retail, and I think is a decent price for what you get. It's a good bait, but you just have to know what you're getting with it, right? It'll be fun to fish. You'll probably catch some good fish on it. It might not last forever. Durability could be an issue, or hanging up could always be an issue, right? So for $15, I think I'm on the fence about it. I was interested in this one because it's brand new and it's a different design. It's got the rattle in there, and it's got the much more subtle natural swimming action. It's not going to move the body very much at all as it swims. This one, on the other hand, is going to look like it's being chased. So you're just going to want to fish these a little bit different. This is the unassuming bait, and this is the one that's in danger. So I think it is a good bait in general, and definitely better than the Live Target one. I do have a couple of these. I've got both of the bluegill colors, and I don't know, I got a perch one as well. So these are either 10 or $15 a pop as well, and just are not at all, they don't stand up, right? Look at the differences here just in detail. I mean, Live Target is known for having very detailed stuff, right? That is a nicely detailed, but when you look at the way that it swims, it's got an even more subtle action where I think it is speed sensitive. You have to fish this a bit faster, and I don't know, it looks like a more dead action, like it's just pulling through the water, whereas this new Savage Gear has a clear kick to it, and I just like it better. So, at this 4-inch size, I would go with the Savage Gear for sure over the Live Target if you're looking at that kind of bait. But there's a lot of different bait category. Here's one that I'm actually new to this year that I look forward to throwing. This is the Huddleston 4-inch weedless shad, and it has a hook buried in there, so it's hiding the hook. It's weedless, and it's just a 4-inch bait. And I picked up 3 of these. They retail for like $9 or $10 on Tackle Warehouse. I got them on Black Friday and picked up like 3 of them. I sent one to Will Perriman, and I haven't fished either of these 2 yet. So that looks like a pretty cool bait, but haven't fished it yet. Sorry that I missed some of your guys' comments already. Just wanted to answer Full Life Adventures question. You say just got yours. Had a few follows and bites. Okay. Now bites, did you bring in any of those bites, Full Life Adventures? Because I know hookup ratio can be an issue with the Savage Gear ones, with the angle of that top hook. That's why I leave that bottom treble on there. You know, you're more likely to pick up weeds, but you're more likely to keep a fish pinned. So anyway, BJ says, what are some good hooks to use for the soft plastic frogs? So that kind of depends, man. But the two most common that I would throw are going to be like a weightless EWG screw lock style hook. This one is from Trocar. This one is from Owner. You know, I prefer something around a 4/0 or 5/0. Fishing it weightless is a good option because it is a surface bait after all. Some of those baits that I showed you have more weight to them, like that Keitech and the Rage Toad. Both of these baits are pretty heavy on their own. Like, let me weigh these out for you real quick. 0.55 ounces, so over half an ounce on the Rage Toad, 0.58 on the Keitech. So these guys are over half an ounce by themselves without any hook in them. So you don't really need much extra weight, and you want to keep it up on the surface if you're fishing it as a topwater, which most of the time you are. You're going to fish it like a buzzbait, like a whopper plopper, but in and around cover and grass and things that are going to foul up the hooks on your typical topwater baits. So I like a screw lock hook just a little bit better, but you can use like a Mustad grip pin hook. I like the keeper on the grip pin hooks. I use them a lot for a bunch of different applications. Other hook that I really like to use is the Owner Beast. This is in the 4/0 size. I don't think they make a 5/0 Beast. It goes from 4/0 to 6/0. And to my knowledge, it jumps up in weight as well. So I think the 4/0 is big enough, but the weight is lighter. I think it's an 1/8 ounce versus a little bit heavier on. So let me show you what the 4/0 looks like when I screw this in. Don't remember with the 6/0 Beast if it comes in a 1/4 ounce or if it only comes in a 3/8. I think it only comes in 3/8, which is why I like the Trocar in the 5/0. Whoa. All right, so there she is on the weighted 4/0 Owner Beast. That's the Keitech Noisy Flapper. Just a really well-designed bait. I mean, take a look at this thing. So not only does it have a frog profile, but it also has a crayfish profile. And it's got really aggressive flanged kickers, and it's got a hook slot for your hook to more or less rest in, and it's got two ridges along the back here where you could put a double frog hook and bury the points into that spot. So you could do a double frog hook and bury the points, or you could use an EWG style hook like this and rest the hook in that pocket. So makes it super easy to Texpose. The bait stays very weedless. Really like that. So 4/0 or 5/0 would be even better. I mean, you might even be able to sneak a 6/0 in with this bait, but screw lock is going to be a lot better, and it's going to keep the bait going for an extra few fish. So just like anything else, you know, you might only get a couple fish per bait on these toads, so you want to make them last as long as possible. Something like a screw lock keeper is going to extend the life of the bait by at least a few fish. So I'm all about that. Golly, just putting things kind of wherever right now, and that's dumb. BJ says, everybody in here hit that thumbs up button. Hey, appreciate that. Absolutely, guys. Come on. Hook me up. There's 11 people in here, 8 thumbs up right now. I bet some of you haven't hit that button, so do me that solid real quick. Ryan says, I use a lighter wire EWG if I want it on the top. Okay, I had my best luck on heavy wire hooks, so it goes subsurface, or a spinnerbait or a buzzbait trailer. Yep, buzzbait trailer is one of the most common, most popular ways to rig it. Great way to fish it. The War Eagle Buzzin' Toad comes with that Yum Tip Toad stock on it. It used to come with the Zoom Horny Toad, but as of last year or the year before, they switched over to the Yum Tip Toad. Not quite sure why, but they did. So gonna say you have a great day for April, says BJ. Yeah, we're gonna go over that on this stream, so I want to show you guys. For those of you who didn't watch today's video, and obviously I haven't made a video about the giveaway just yet, I will be posting that probably tomorrow, and it's going to be open for a week. It'll finish on the 1st of May, and it is going to be only here on YouTube. So I'm going to be directing people from Instagram over here onto YouTube for the giveaway, and you will win here on YouTube. So hope you guys are excited about that. We'll talk about it in a few minutes here once I catch up on the comments, though. So Drew2430, sponsored by Z-Man. No, man, just love them. I like. I don't have all my soft plastics here. I just a lot of other soft plastics, Drew, I keep in these Plano boxes. So I've got tons of Rage Tail soft plastics, tons of Kitech soft plastics, and then a lot of my worms and swim baits and jig trailers and things like that are already unloaded out of the bags and into boxes. I've learned over the last couple of years that doing that with Z-Man doesn't work out as well. You know, I used to keep all my Ned rig baits in here, which was a cool deal for like a season until the whole thing just started warping and all of the dividers inside went crazy. And so that doesn't work out quite as well as you would think. And the boxes just don't last. So I keep all of my Z-Man out on these pegs, and I try to keep everything else a little bit more organized. I will pull the Z-Man off when I am planning to use those for a fishing excursion. But no, not sponsored by them, just built up the collection over the course of a couple of years. They're one of my favorite makers of soft plastic baits, up there with Kitech and Strike King for sure. All right. Miguel says, I've only had luck with the live target shads, not the bluegill. Fair enough. Matt's fishing mission. Do you throw any floating Senkos? If so, any recommendations? Floating Senkos. That's interesting. No, there aren't really any floating Senkos on the market. There are floating worms. They're more like finesse worms, trick worms. I don't have those per se, but I do throw the All right, so Matt, to answer your question, I'm going to pull out my box of 4 to 6 inch Elastec worms. Oh, look at that, Ray. Ray is in the house. Gosh dang it, shiz fish, dang it. Yeah, I was predicting that you'd do that, so I didn't really get into the meat of tonight until you hopped in here anyway, Ray, so no worries, dude. But Matt's fishing mission, I'll give you a couple of options. The Z-Man Big TRD is a great option, okay? It's 4 inches long, so it's a shorter bait, but a lot of people throw 3, 4 inch Senkos in addition to the 5 and 6 inch that are a little bit more popular. The Big TRD is really buoyant, but if you throw this on a weighted wacky rig, or if you throw it just on a weightless Texas rig, you can get a very similar action to what you would get out of like a Senko. So I would look into the Big TRD by Z-Man. And then I would also check out the Z-Man Finesse Worms. This is essentially a trick worm. This is not, Z-Man has what they call a floating worm, and this is not technically that, but this is made from Elastec and will stand up very easily, and I think it has a super slow fall rate if you were to throw it weightless. I haven't ever thrown it weightless. Throw this on a shaky head. The vast majority of the time that I'm throwing it, I might throw this on a Texas rig or on a Nico rig. You know, this is my Nico rig box technically, but what I will do, you know, it's the same type of presentation when you're looking for that stand up on the bottom. But if you're looking for a floating Senko, something that's going to fall super slow, I would look into something like the Yum Dinger. That bait has no salt in it and falls super slow. So we've talked about Senkos before and how you know, there's a wide spectrum of fall rate and salt content, and I think the Yum Dinger falls on the end of the spectrum that is like saltless and super slow fall, and the Berkley Power Bait General, that Maxcent General, is on the opposite end, super fast fall. And the Yamamoto Senko is kind of 2/3 of the way there, has a fast fall and a lot of salt in it, but has kind of that ideal shimmy that a lot of fishermen have been looking for years and years. So hopefully that answers your question, Matt. I'm not quite sure if it does. B. Davis, what up, dude? He says, try the fatties. The fatties is the only one I didn't pull out of that. That's funny, dude. Look at that. Z-Man fatties in the B and J. That is so funny, B. Davis. That is the only other one in this box. You know, I've got those 4 baits, each in 2 colors. The only other bait that I didn't show you is the Bang Sticks, which, in my opinion, is much more of a Nico rig bait than a Senko style bait. But anyway, so Ray, what is up, man? Welcome to the stream. Sorry to not be caught up on comments very well. I'm going to try and catch up right this minute so that we're all on the same page. But glad to see you made it in. Hope you were doing well. Hope you had a good week. Alan Aho, hot weather here in Arizona. I heard that, man. I'm not sure if you guys follow Tightlines Tina on Instagram, but she posted something on her story the other day showing it is like 102 degrees like this whole week in Arizona. Absolutely insane. Or does she live in Nevada? I think she's in Arizona. Yak Angler 419, floating worm in Mathai Lake. Yep, that was one that I was looking to get. Just didn't time it quite right with my discount tackle order, and some of the other places I was looking to shop from, and when they had it in stock. I know that I did see it in stock, at least I think the Zoom trick worm version over at Carl's Bait and Tackle, but that's such a popular bait right now that I think they're selling out everywhere pretty quickly, especially when everybody saw Mark Daniels Jr. just smash him on that bait that one day a few weeks ago or a month ago. Anyway, Drew, have you tried the new BBB Kamikaze Swim On? Swim On. Looks like a killer chatterbait trailer. I have not. In fact, it sounds like somewhat familiar, but I don't know that I know that bait, dude. Kamikaze Swim On. Okay, yeah, I've seen that bait, man. I just haven't heard much about it. Haven't put it on my wish list. Haven't tried it or anything. But I like how it does have a bait fish profile, and those kicking claws would probably be killer on a swim jig and a chatterbait. So yeah, that's right, BJ. I was waiting on Ray. I appreciate that, Ray. You think I look clean tonight? All right. All right. You looked right before you washed. No worries, Ray. No worries. All right, homies. Triple digits the next 10 days in Arizona. Oh my gosh, Alan. Dude, it's April. Why is it that hot there? That's insane. How warm are your water temperatures right now, Alan? All right, B. Davis. Have a great evening yourself. Go spool up those reels. Have a great day tomorrow. Hope you catch them, and we'll catch up next time. Okay, man? I might be on tomorrow night, so look out for that just in case. Same time tomorrow, 24 hours from now. Keep an eye out. Hop in. Let us know how your day on the water was. Love to hear about it. George N., what is up? How are you doing tonight? Friday night? Did you have a good week? Are you going fishing this weekend? Yay or nay? I am on daddy duty this weekend, so I might try to drag my two kids out to go fishing. Sunday's going to be a little bit nicer weather than tomorrow. We're looking 50s and 60s this weekend here in Colorado. We are going to hit 80 one day next week, which I'm super pumped about, and probably definitely going to go fishing then. Ryan says, in Saskatchewan, we might hit triple digits a couple days a year. Yeah, I hear that for sure. Alan 62. I don't know what you're talking about, brother. Sorry about that. Russ Dennis, how you doing tonight, man? Good to see you in here. Welcome to the stream. We're just hanging out, just chit chatting. I'm going to show you guys some stuff in a minute, but just chatting it up with you guys right now. So Russ, got to tell you, I love the Alberto knot for my braid to fluorocarbon leader on my spinning reel. Yeah, absolutely. You can throw a blood, or you can tie a blood knot too, especially on a spinning reel. You know, your guides are going to be a little bit better suited, but Alberto knot's a good one for sure, man. What am I drinking? Red wine. This is maybe it's a Pinot, maybe it's a Syrah. I don't know. I'll bring the bottle down here when I finish this glass, probably in the next 30 minutes or so. But thanks for asking, BJ. This is a bottle that's been open for a few nights and needed to be topped off. My wife and I have been drinking a lot of wine during quarantine, like five bottles a week, almost having a bottle a night. And when we pop one, our tolerance is going up, so we can't help but finish the bottle, which might not sound crazy to some people. For two people to drink one bottle, but my wife's a lightweight, does tend to get drunk pretty easy, so her having